Oh hey baby, we back. Well, we never went anywhere, but the UFC is back next weekend, first show of 2023. Are we excited? Kelvin Gastelum, pretty sure I was going to say my own name then. It's been a long, dry winter. Take that how you will. Nassourdine Imavov versus perennial bridesmaid / gatekeeper Kelvin Gastelum. If you just look at the rankings, number 12 and number 11 respectively, you might think that the UFC ain't taking this seriously. But they didn't suffer through this month-long hiatus in the same way that we did. That they do not respect us or how difficult this has been for us. Just me? But don't let the numbers fool you, baby. This is a fight. Obviously, but also, you know. Now, if you haven't heard of Imavov or don't know too much about him, I won't hold it against you. You get out of jail free this one time because his progress has been seriously stalled by multiple visa issues. Not only in terms of missing out on fights, but also in terms of missing out on fights with big names that would have propelled his career forward. Even this fight was supposed to happen back in April 2022, and selfishly, I'm glad it didn't because that meant that I got to see Imavov fight Joaquin Buckley in Paris. Now that fight was pivotal for Imavov because Buckley had won 5 out of his last 6 and was looking like a threat. But Imavov had a hometown advantage, and it turned out a bunch of other advantages, and was super fired up for the matchup. There was even bad blood that seeped into the octagon in the form of a few nasty exchanges, but Imavov was the superior striker and grappler, and also staved off a late comeback attempt to walk away with a decision victory. And there are a few noticeable similarities between that last matchup and this one. Imavov had the size and reach advantage against Buckley just as he does Gastelum. Imavov didn't seem to have much regard for Buckley's power as he dodged and ducked his punches before firing back with some pretty impressive shots, including a lightning quick front kick that sent his opponent's mouthpiece flying. And while this may be a risky technique, it worked for him before, just as it could work for him again against the extremely powerful Gastelum. In the Buckley fight, Nassourdine was showing us a lot of looks. He was showing incredible confidence in the exchanges as Buckley did everything he could to try and close the distance and land his fist on Nassourdine's... Nassourdine. Don't doubt me. On Nassourdine's chin. Midway through the second round, Imavov abandoned his striking and turned to his wrestling as he dragged Buckley to the ground and began fishing for submissions. And as he did so, he was also landing some nasty elbows, one of which led to Buckley's bleeding from the mouth hole. And in the final round, Buckley threw everything he had at Imavov and still didn't manage to get him out of there. So, what can Gastelum do? What can the Gastelum do? Well, he could bring that Buckley round 3 pressure from the very first bell, using that right hook overhand left combo that he throws so well, mixing in his uppercuts and just implementing his explosive speed and strength with one thing on his mind: Imavov's lack of consciousness. Also, look at my dog. You're so cute, baby. Yeah, little cutie patootie. I love you. His list of victories does include various strikers that all fell victim to his deadly shots. He pushed Izzy hard through all 5 rounds before facing a decision loss in the end. That fight was a war. Izzy spoke to it. He said both of us were willing to die in there. If Gastelum can push Imavov to that place, maybe his resolve and will to win won't be as strong as Izzy's. Gastelum's grappling isn't anything to be sniffed at either, whatever that phrase means. Having out-muscled accomplished wrestlers such as Tim Kennedy and Johnny Hendricks, who are imposing, powerful presences in the octagon, or were. Many of Gastelum's opponents just don't expect such pressure or willingness to engage in a clinch battle or grappling affair with a usually much larger opponent, and they're usually unprepared for his strength. I guess what it comes down to for Gastelum is, does he still have that same heart after all this time and on this losing streak? Whereas Imavov's confidence is probably soaring with his recent success. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and the 2 before Buckley, he finished both of them in the second round. And in his one promotional blemish, many people believed that he had beat Phil Hawes, and that loss was controversial in their eyes. Imavov trains out of the same gym as Cyril Gane, MMA Factory in Paris, and I've spoken about this before. I've spoken about his head trainer Fernand Lopez before, but their preparation is always so technical, so detailed, so precise. So expect his game plan to be on point, and he's such an exciting fighter to watch. He's a well-rounded fighter, and he has loads of finishes on his record pretty evenly across like TKO, KO and submissions. He uses all the tools of MMA seamlessly, mixing in the takedowns, working viciously in the clinch, using knees, elbows, framing off the head to land those big close range shots, or out in the open canvas, using his range, his movement, his jabs, kicks, staying out of Gastelum's danger zone, dirty, will be key here. I do think he's going to outstrike Kelvin, using wrestling when he needs to, mostly just to get ahead on the scorecards, to break up that Gastelum pressure, to implement some ground and pound to remove the power of Kelvin, then get back to the feet and strike his way to a decision win. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Give me a like. Why not? Or the video, whatever. And subscribe while you're down there, but don't get too comfy in this fight night duvet for long. We ain't sticking around. Next week we're going to be talking about the first main event of the year and all the drama that's surrounding it. So I'll see you then.